Tony, what I want to do, can I just turn it over to you for 5, 10 minutes? Introduce yourself, how you came to EXP, what your responsibilities are, and what you're going to be speaking on.
Yeah. Hi everyone that I have not had the opportunity to yet meet. As it says down there somewhere, Tony King, Vice President of U.S. Growth. Big fancy title. All that means is that I get the opportunity to help you all grow, and that specifically as it pertains to your revenue share side of your business. Anything that I can possibly do to help, I got your back for that. Man, doing a lot of exciting stuff. First and foremost, we got strategy sessions. So, whenever you want, I'm happy to meet with you and your organizations and do a strategy session. Right now, I'm doing them once a month, but I may have to actually add more to that. But this is where I go deep, right? So everything that I know, everything that I've learned, everything that sort of I've witnessed and been a party to, having been an executive on the growth team, I lay it all to bear, right? So open up the hood, show you what every major attractor is doing and how they're growing their businesses across the five major archetypes of attractors. So whether that be a promoter like a Brent, right? Someone that's constantly promoting events and using the events to do the heavy lifting, social media, these influencers, right? Your Mike Sherrards, your, go-go's, the folks that are, crushing it using social media to influence. Also the folks that are using coaching and coaching platforms like, hey, if you want to do that, here's how they're doing that. And then the connectors, right? The folks that are just connecting with people and using that as a mechanism by which for agent attraction or production. So we got people that are just like selling a bunch of houses. And because they're selling a bunch of houses, like it naturally attracts, but there's a systematic approach that many of them use as well. So that's what I do in my agent attraction strategy sessions. Those are doing, really, really well. I think my record for those was working with Terry Gleaton on the Wealthy Group. Within about 90 days, she did a 90-day run and added 60 agents to her downline with the strategy session. So yeah, that's been going great. We also have Fast to Track coming up. So I'm working with Brian Ellington, who, if you don't know, he's our chief learning officer. And he and I have saw the success and the incredible results of the Fast Cap program. So, I was at one of our executive meetings and I kind of pulled Brian off to the side and I was like, hey man, you knocked it out of the park with Fast Cap. So like, what if we wanted to do the same thing on the agent attraction front? Same 6-week program, multiple times per week, coaching, mentoring. And again, it's super detailed, focusing on the accountability and the daily habits. Because it's not that much different, right? It's just who your target audience is, whether you're going after buyers and sellers or whether you're going after agents. We just kind of swap those things out, right? So what we did, we interviewed the top attractors again with the company and, put together an entire playbook, again, 6-week, super detailed course, meeting 3 times a week and helping people grow into agent attraction. We'll be kicking that off next month. So that starts in June. So really excited about that as
Tony,
well.
is
Yeah,
is your strategy sessions open to the public?
it better be. Yeah, that's what they pay me to do. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, I can drop a link to the next one. It's actually Friday. It'll be Friday and it's not booked out yet. We only have like a few registrations so
But
far.
are they every month?
Yes. Yep. Every
Okay.
month. So the next one is Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Friday, 9 a.m. Central. And I will drop the link here for anyone that wants to join.
Oh man,
Actually, right
I'm just so
now.
thrilled to have you on, dude. After Brent was singing your praises last night.
Yeah, he's too sweet. He exaggerates though. Whatever he told
Oh,
you,
you
probably
think?
probably 50% of what he told you is true. As what I've noticed. But yeah, Brent's the
Real
man.
talk right there.
So,
Okay,
anyways, that
Tony,
said,
can
yeah.
you kind of give us a background? Where did you come from and how you got introduced to EXP? Where were you previously before?
So yeah, so I've been in real estate nearly 20 years now, and I've done all things. So sort of backing all the way up to the beginning now, what 19 some years ago, I was in the Marine Corps. Had the unfortunate incident of getting hit by a roadside bomb in Iraq, and
Gee.
that was pretty much the end of my military career, right? So I had to learn how to like walk again and like the whole thing, like crazy vertigo and all that. But ultimately, and they gave me a Purple Heart for that one, which was great. But they gave me the Purple Heart on the way out the door. They're like, "Hey, thank you for your service." So, got back from my deployment, spent my deployment money on my first investment properties. Because while I was in recovery, I read a little book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which many of you, I see looks on your face, y'all. Many of y'all have read it too, right? So, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was a catalyst to really change for me. So I got back from my deployment. I was like, this is what I'm going to do now. And I spent my deployment money on my first investment properties. And I went from there and I was an investor. And ultimately, I got my real estate license just to avoid paying commissions, right? Because who wants to pay freaking agents commission? So I got my license just to like sell my own properties that I had investing. And quickly, I was making more money on the agency side than I was like on the home flipping side, because I have friends and family and stuff that would come and like ask me, "Hey, how much is my house worth?" And "Hey, will you list my house?" And like all this kind of stuff. So I was like, "Man, I'm making more money on this side, than I am on the other." So I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go all in." So I was like, if I'm gonna go all in, I can't be with one of these little boutique like, kind of knockoff brokerages, cheapest game in town kind of thing. I got to go all in. I need to be with a big brand. So I hopped on the big balloon over there at Remax back in the day. Hopped on that balloon. Quickly became rookie of the year over there, and then ultimately, the top agent in the Frisco market. And I'm here in Frisco, Texas, but became, the number two agent. The number one guy was like REO, so that's cheating in my book. But hey, I was number two. I was number two guy in Frisco, and I hit a ceiling though, and I realized like, hey, I can't do this again. So like that year, I think I did like 65 transactions. But it was all me, right? There was no admin, there was no VA, there was no ISA, there was no assistant, there was no coordinator. Like it was all me, 65 transactions. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that again. That, by the way, is where I gained about 100 pounds, man, because like I had to like let other stuff go and let important things go and family events and things like that, letting things go that really truly matter more than the 50 houses. Although the money was great, again it cost in other areas. So that's when I decided, hey, something's got to change. And I looked at other opportunities that were out there. I was like, hey, do I want to start my own brokerage? Do I want to start my own team? Like, what do I want to do? Took a look at a few different models, and at that time, what the model that made the most sense to me was over at Redfin. And Redfin hired me on as their listing agent. I was at that time, the only listing agent for like the entire DFW market, pretty much. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So it got
Wow.
crazy. I did that. That was where I did the most transactions and kind of the strongest outing. I became the number one agent in all of Redfin at that point. I think I did 120 some transactions that year, but I did have help, right? And it was cool. So that said, they were like, man, we got to get this guy a team. He's crushing it. He's our top agent. So I became one of the first team leaders there, or team managers, I guess, at Redfin. And my team shot to the top. So then they promoted me into full-time just management, and I became the broker of the state. So I helped at that time. When I got to Redfin, we had about 200 agents. Helped to grow across multiple markets up to just over 700 agents at the time, when someone reached out to me on LinkedIn about a little old company called eXp. And at the time, I mean, I was happy. Like I was fine at Redfin. I was the broker for the state and like doing multiple divisions and stuff, vice president and all that stuff. It was fine. But someone showed, and I was like, someone hit me with the just curious, right? Like, hey, would you just take a look at it, right? Are you open minded, right? We all know that script, right? Would you just be open minded to take a look at this thing? So I was open minded enough to take a look, and I haven't slept since. I was like, oh my God, like what? How did I not know this was a thing? Because I'm thinking a real estate brokerage is a real estate brokerage is a real estate is they're all the same. But I saw the opportunity at EXP. I actually saw Brent's video. It was Brent's video, and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is the thing, right? So cashed in my chips and I said I'm going to EXP. And the rest, as I say, is history. So got here as they hired me as the designated broker for the state of Texas.
Okay.
And during that time period, we grew in Texas from about the fastest growth period that we had seen up until that point, which was I got on board, we had about 6,000 agents or so in Texas. And we got to the point of nearly 10,000 agents, one hair under 10,000 agents at the height. And somewhere, some along the way, our agent leadership, our executive leadership was like, "What the heck is going on in Texas?" Someone tossed my name out there, agent leadership wise. I think Brent might have been one of the people lying on me, and saying, "Hey, Tony King's doing an incredible job. You need to promote him." So, long story short, our leadership team said, "Hey, would you like to just do growth? Like yes, we know you love the lawsuits and the DRE complaints and the all that stuff. We know you love dealing with all that stuff, but how would you like to just do growth?" And I was like, where do I sign? So got over on the growth side of the house, and yeah, it's just been an incredible experience. Now I'm laser focused on growth, not only in Texas but also Florida and California. So our largest states are sort of under my purview with my regional directors, and that's what we do.
So, Tony, let me ask you a question. If we want to bring on a mega agent or a team, you would be one of the people that we reach out to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll give you all the resource that you need. exprealty.com/growth. exprealty.com/growth. So that's our new growth team website. And effectively, everything that we can do to help you on the growth team, you can sort of see and access from that site. And what I mean by that is, first and foremost, the agent attraction toolkit. Or if you haven't seen that, that's like everything that Amy and myself and Sean, like everybody, Russ, we all poured into that agent attraction toolkit. So pretty much every tool that we use to recruit people to EXP, you can get from that toolkit website. And then also you can schedule an appointment to meet with any one of the growth leaders with the company on that site. So to your point, Frank, if you got a team or a brokerage prospect or like a big hitter and like, hey, I need to bring in like a big hitter on this, you can schedule a time to meet with one of the growth leaders on that call. We also have the Explorer room, right? So we have a virtual Explorer room as well, which we're really excited about because guess what? Like we're only one, like I'm only one person. I can't speak for the other folks, but the reality is like we have a calendar and like there's only so much time in the day, and then sometimes folks get frustrated when they can't get on the calendar like today, tomorrow, or in the next few days. So we have a from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, you can actually hop into the virtual Zoom Explorer room and just have a conversation with one of the growth leaders. So they all have a shift to sort of work through, but 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., you can hop into the Explorer room with your prospect. If you have someone that has a question about growth or a question you can't answer, they got a question about stock or rev share or healthcare or whatever it is, you can jump into the Explorer room any time of day, again, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and have meet with one of the growth leaders across the country. They'll answer your questions, they'll close your prospect, they'll be your third party resource on the spot. So as we know, right, the power of third party calls. I'm sure Brent has been pouring that all over y'all. But Brent's not always available. Let's keep it real. He's on airplanes and doing these stuff. So the reality is we have our growth team that's standing by in the event you can't get a hold of someone in your organization.
I
We're
did
standing
not
by to
know
help you.
that.
I
Thank
know
you
you
for
didn't.
that.
That's why I'm telling you. Yeah, most people don't. We got all that stuff on there. Also, the sign up for Fast Track. Remember, we talked about the 6 week Fast Track course coming up. You can sign up for that right on that same website. So again, exprealty.com/growth, right? And signing up for my strategy session, right? I talked about my strategy session this Friday. You can do that on that same webpage. Myself and all the other growth leaders across the country, we all have our designated strategy sessions at least once a month. You can do that, sign up for that on that same page. So a lot of, oh yeah, and the rev share calculator. We just launched the rev share calculator last week.
What?
You heard me. Last
I
week we
saw
launched the
that
rev share.
9 years ago through Rob Flick.
Yep. Well, we have a corporate approved rev share calculator, right? That's been looked at by the legal team and the finance team and the production and everybody. Rev share is on the same page. So, yes, you can go there.
How many years now with EXP?
Four, yeah, four, going to four, I think.
Man, well, they're very lucky they got you. Is there anybody on this call that wants to ask Tony a question because his time is limited? And I'm sorry for the confusion. Land and Ranches is going to have to be rescheduled for the next couple weeks, but I wanted to introduce Tony to you guys to give you a little flavor. And the first thing that comes across to me is his energy, his passion. I love the way you talk fast, and you still lost 100 pounds, man. I'm mad
Listen,
props to you on that.
too
Anybody
much,
got
too
any
much,
questions or comments for Tony?
too much rap music as a kid. I think my mom was right. So, what are you gonna do?
That's funny. Hey, I would encourage you guys too. I have been in the background. Actually just met Tony for didn't get a chance to actually physically meet him because he was so busy at the regional. But this is one of the reasons why you guys got to come to some of these regional events and stuff is that you get to meet people like Tony and that. But I would also again encourage you guys if you're not to stay on. I mean, they send us emails and stuff out for different Zooms and different things that they're doing. And Tony's been doing a lot of them lately, and his moderation skills are really good in my opinion when he's hosting these meetings, and there's just a lot of value in it. And for you guys that have been in any other companies or anything else, you do not get an opportunity to meet people or talk to people directly that are in, I would just say, upper level management positions on a regular basis. You just don't see that in our field. And if you've not been with someone else, or if you haven't been with another company, you don't know how special that is. And if you have been with other companies, you really need to take advantage of some of this stuff, man. You really need to take advantage of some of this stuff. So I'm not sure, but man, I might see you. Hopefully, I'll see you in June, Tony. I'll get to actually shake your hand for a minute. And
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Okay, anybody else?
I just wanted to say, thanks for sharing and coming on as well, Tony. I think, you have taken advantage of everything that I see eXp offers. I mean, I delve and I can kind of get the surface, but even you bringing up the 5 different avenues of agent attraction, that was huge for me because I knew there a few of them and I was kind of trying to piece together. So making that clear, but just showing that I wanted to ask, and maybe you could share some other people real quick, like, how did you delve in and really, because all this information is available to everybody and obviously you just took advantage of it. So how long did it take you to kind of tweak, and you had some experience obviously in some of the stuff you were doing before, to kind of tweak where you felt like, hey, you know what, I'm on top of this and now I can really start going and working with other people?
I still don't feel like I'm on top of it, if I'm being honest. The reality, there's just so much. And every time you think you got a hold on EXP changes. So we're constantly evolving. Glenn and Leo's obviously pushing us to greatness. But that said, I just encourage everyone to get started, right? And that's the difference, right? Don't wait till you have all the information. Don't wait till you figure everything out. You will learn way more between step 1 and 10 than you will trying to figure out. You're in step 0 trying to figure out step 1, right? Just take that step, get started, right? And that's always been my philosophy, right? Ready, fire, aim, just go, and I'll figure it out. You got to have that confidence, belief in God and yourself and whatever your thing is, universe, whatever, right? I don't tell you what to believe, but the reality is you'll learn so much. Have that faith, take those steps, and just put yourself out there, right? So that's been the secret for me. I just do stuff because I know I'll be able to fix it if it messes up, and I'll learn and we'll keep it moving. So
awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else before I let Tony go? He's really busy and I totally are you going to the class this week? And is it Dallas?
The Mastermind. Yeah. I live in Dallas. I'm here. So yep.
Great.
Yep.
Okay. I had a couple people call me this morning and they're going to give me good insight on some of the stuff coming down. So that's awesome.
Yep. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah. So Tony, you made my day, man. You're a pleasure to talk to. Look forward to having you in a couple weeks on the Winner Circle. And this goes out to a lot of people, even though they couldn't make it today, but I truly appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being a role model. And we are really, and anytime you want to come on the Winner Circle, you are more than welcome. Every Monday at 10 o'clock. And most of the people here are in Los Angeles, most of the people in LA. I'm in California, Sacramento. That's how I know Brent. Brent is my personal sponsor. And then I sponsored Elgin, and then Elgin went out and got everybody else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I hear. Hear. So, well, that is incredible. As always, thank you for having me. And anything I can do to hesitate, don't reach out. Best place is Workplace for now, maybe Slack next month. But best place to reach out to me is on there. And I'm always down to do whatever I can to do to help.
Thank you, Tony. Have a great day, and I'll be in touch. You can drop off.
My pleasure. Have a good week.
Man, we've been going back and forth on Workplace, and that's the first time that I've been able to talk to him kind of live. That dude fires me up. That guy is really an inspiration. And Brent would not shut up about Tony King. I think he was jealous because he lost 100 pounds, but dang. I'm fired up.
You should hear him in person.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, you should hear him in person. He killed it at the regional. He pretty much hosted a good portion of the in-between stuff and a couple of the panels. And his energy at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning was the same by the cocktail hour. So he was pretty intense.
Good. Well, I can't wait for him to talk about land and ranches. And so anybody have any comments about anything? We didn't do Tell Me Something Good last week, but anything going on that you want to brag a little bit about yourself or anybody in your group?
I want to brag a little bit on Jason and Leo. They've they've been working hard, and they've got some of they sponsor that's up in the Bay Area, Andrea, and now they're putting together a deal partnering with them. So they're gonna be going out and listing a home for her and down here and partnering with her, and she's got something coming up there, and so just proud of them. And another one, John Paul, who jumps on here a couple of times, one of my mentees, is just closing 2 deals this week. So got a lot of things happening, and these people are going on. And Jason Leo just added another person. I think they're in the process of signing up. Is that right, Jason?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought you posted that, but anyways, yeah. But they're working hard and did things. They just did an interview this morning. I know that.
That didn't go well.
No, unfortunately, as soon as
We talked about
started talking about
revenue share.
rev share, and
Yeah,
that,
she was like, no.
she goes, no, I don't want to be involved in that, blah, blah, blah. And then we
Yeah.
were like, okay. And then we moved on to the next thing. And she goes, you know what? Yeah, I think we can end now. I was
Yeah,
like,
some people just, when they hear something about network marketing, they just, they
Hey, guys, she's a no for right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
right.
She's a no
Yeah.
for right now.
She'll open her eyes.
She'll open
Yeah.
her eyes.
She
Good.
was very nice.
Yeah, really
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And,
It just ended abruptly.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
and Michael Melgen, maybe if we meet her again in Beverly Hills and I show her one of these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm doing this in gold and black now.
Well,
They've seen this as well.
Jason and Leah, we've missed you on the calls. We're glad to having you back.
Well, thank you. We
Glad-
missed you guys as well.
Glad to having you back. Okay, I'm just taking a look at something else. Where is everybody? Here we go. Johnny Lopez.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
What's happening? Anything going on?
My life is a little crazy right now. I got laid off on Friday. I called my mentor. Like, congratulations, let's go. So I'm gonna be dipping in. It's so fired up. I'm so excited though because there's so much opportunity. I met a good brokerage in El Paso since I joined the K2 group. They're gonna and I wanted to ask a question, right? Because they're gonna help me bring other people aboard. But I wanted to ask, and I didn't ask how to apply. Like when you have support, like King, if he was to chime in, does he sponsor them as well, or is that just for the growth of the company?
Can you repeat the question?
So let's say you use like Brent or Tony to help bring on a brokerage. Do they end up in their downline as well?
Michael, I don't know if you got the answer, but I don't think that somebody like Tony King would be a sponsor because he's at a management level. It would have to be somebody local that's a baller in El Paso.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be better for you because if this person's on your second level, you want somebody that person can plug into and get into production really quick. I think with Tony's responsibilities, it would be limited. Now that's just my opinion. You guys
Okay.
may have another one, but I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that, they're just support for the growth of the company because, now that I got my time back, I want to plug into what I've been trying to plug into, which is more agent attraction and then some more production.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the time, I was locked down from 9 to 5. That's a lot of hours, wasted.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you would do these calls while you're on the clock, right?
Yeah. I would be, when I have time, I would try to chime in or whatnot. And then, people be around me. It's kind of a little, I have that feeling inside where it's like, I'm here for a season and it's like, not what I want. It's not my end goal. So it wastes a lot. It's good money and it's security, but it's still, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Long term for me.
I know that I try to put positive spins on things, but laying you off is probably the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I felt so free. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, finally. Like I kind of wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
know what's funny, Johnny? I got doged from my federal job 2 Fridays ago. And I haven't felt, and I felt great about this actually, because as soon as that happened,
Not me.
she's worried, but
Yeah.
this is like the best like actual layoff I've ever felt about this. Not only because I looked and I saw that there's other work available, but also there's work available for the 3D printing I'm doing now, because now I was able to focus on doing that stuff and pushing that out. The real estate is starting to pick up. obviously. And the more time we have, the less I'm worried about that regular job that I had, and the more time I can focus on this other stuff, which, you know, is real estate, which is great. You know, it's that way. I don't want to get fired again by somebody. I don't want to get laid off again because of some randomness going on in the government. I'd rather just, you know, this is our deal. This is our gig. This is what we do. And this is how we succeed because we put our effort into it. Yeah.
I tell you guys though, and this is from experience. So Pilar and I had just gotten married. This was 1987. I had a good quote unquote working warehouse job in 1987. I was making around $20 an hour. It's a lot of money in 1987. And I walked in one day and quit then and came home and you know, pretty much told Pilar what I had done. And you know, real estate, I've been in real estate part-time for 2 or 3 months. And then from there, it had to work. I've never, quote unquote, been to a job since. Now it has not always just been a fantastic journey, but it would not have been a fantastic journey working for somebody the whole time either. So I say all that to say that that's not for everybody, but it can be done. It can, and you know, I did it on purpose. I don't know that I'd do that again. I was also like 23, didn't have a whole lot of experience or smarts. I might have planned it, you know, if it at 23, I didn't plan it. At 61, you know, you plan some things sometimes. But you know, you guys can do it. You guys will be, if you guys will put as much effort into working and growing your business as you put into working for somebody for a paycheck, you'll be surprised at what you'll be able to achieve. But you got to you got to have a mindset of putting the same effort or more, preferably more, into yourself and your business and your goals than where you previously were employed, and kind of do whatever you have to do to get a check. So that's the old word from an old dog that did that already, that I would tell both you and Leo and Johnny. You guys should, you know, just pour into yourselves, man. Don't miss events. Suck in as we read, podcast, all the stuff. Soak in as much information as you can and talk to as many people as you can speak to, you know, and talk about real estate. Like, and you guys are really good promoters. Everybody should know that real estate is what you do. And if you guys do that, you'll be surprised at where to go.
You know, I think I remember the story, Elgin. Didn't Pilar say, you better make this work?
Well, pretty much. You got to get it. You got about 90. You got 90. You got 90 days, pal. And you need a job after that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Well, I got them. Then I had a company just walk into the room. Say hi, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Damien. So this is my daughter's son, and you know, obviously we have 2 others. But, Damien's spending a little time with us right now.
Hey, Damien. And I gotta thank you, Elgin, for it wasn't all you, but making sure that they weren't all born on my birthday. I remember it was close. They were gonna all be there. So now I get at least a day that I can celebrate with you sometimes too.
Absolutely. That's funny. All right, guys.
You're on mute, Frank. Frank, you're on mute.
All right, everybody, I'm going to be wrapping this up early so you guys can get back to your day. I'm sorry about the confusion with Tony, but we'll work it out. But I'm just really glad. I kind of said, would you do me a favor, please? Just come on this morning and introduce. He goes, and he was there. He was there, man. I don't get excited too much anymore about eXp Realty celebrities because I've seen them all, but Tony is a breath of fresh air for me today. I can tell you that. So everybody have a good week and we'll see you here next Monday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.